Hess, and welcome to Cooking with Color for Kids. In our fall show, we're going to be featuring some fun and healthy twists on some Asian fall dishes. I'm going to be making some Asian Rainbow Spring Veggie Rolls, which are made with tons of fresh veggies, lots of full, beautiful colors, with an Asian spicy dipping peanut sauce. So the recipes should be healthy. Veggies and fruits should make up at least half of the recipe and also include some low-fat dairy, whole grains, and lean protein. Next, they should be delicious. It should be fresh, simple, and yummy, no fancy ingredients needed. The dish should also be original. We want to hear what you have to make, not something from a published source. And also, it should be affordable. You don't need expensive ingredients, just simple, whole food is wonderful. And then last but not least, we want it to be meaningful, and we want to know what the dish means to you and what inspired you to make it. We also have a guest chef, Chef Roger from Beijing, at a restaurant in Long Island. He's going to be making some other delicious fall dishes for us from his restaurant, including some spicy beef with cumin seeds, a cold appetizer with some sliced potato and garlic, as well as showing us how to make some homemade spring rolls from scratch. And last but not least, we have another really special guest chef. Her name is Julia, and she is going to be making some other healthy fall dishes, tofu and spinach stir fry, as well as some homemade kale chips, which are my favorite. We hope you enjoy the show, and let's get started on the cooking and the fun. Today, I am so excited to make you an Asian-inspired dish with tons of fall veggies. I am making rainbow Asian spring rolls, which are actually full of color and vitamins and all kinds of fresh veggies. The way we're gonna do it is I have some rice paper, which you can actually buy online or in any Asian supermarket. And all they are is thin pieces of rice paper. And they're kind of firm, you can see. What you need to do is you have to actually soak them in some warm water, which I have over here. You don't want it to be too boiling or it'll actually cook them too quick. But what you just need to do is actually dip them until they get a little bit soft, maybe for like a minute or two. And again, you don't want them to be too pliable or they'll actually rip because they're super fragile. So I'm just gonna show you how to do this here. And these are super healthy, and because it's fall, I wanted to actually do a little twist on the veggies. Like the summer rolls, you can use lots of like fruit and cucumbers, watermelon, you know, things like that. But for fall, I wanted to use some heartier veggies that are a little more fall focused. So what we've got is some kale and spinach mix over here. I've got a little bit of mango, which is still a little bit summery, but it adds a lot of beautiful color. We've got some sweet potato sticks, which I just kind of sauteed in a little bit of olive oil because you don't want to eat a sweet potato raw. You could also microwave them for a minute if you like. And then we've got some red pepper, some purple cabbage, and some shirataki rice noodles, which are gluten-free and low carb, which makes it even better. So I'm going to just show you guys how to do it. See how it gets like super wet here and they're kind of pliable. What you want to do is just start by adding the noodles. I love these things. There's like absolutely no calories, but they give a little bit of a noodle feel. And they're wonderful. So I'm going to put those in the middle. And you want to just sort of make sure you go across like the whole edge, but leave a little bit of room because you're going to tuck the little flaps in. Then you want to start laying your veggies. And you can do it any order you want, but I've got the sweet potatoes here for some orange. We've got some red peppers just sliced really thin. And you could also use yellow or green or orange peppers if you like. A little bit of purple, my favorite color. We've got some shredded cabbage, which is also a good fall vegetable. If you like beets, you could also get some roasted beets and maybe chop them up and dice them a little bit for another purple color. But they do stain your hands. And then we've got some gorgeous yellow mango. You could even use, you know, some yellow squash or butternut squash, zucchini, whatever veggies you like. What you're gonna do is you've got the wet rice paper. You've got all your noodles, your veggies, your fruit. You're gonna start rolling it like a burrito, and you have to be super careful because these are very pliable and thin. They're a little stretchy, but they do rip if you're not careful. So we're gonna just do this super carefully. You're gonna start rolling it almost like a little burrito, right? And sort of lightly pull the sides against the board here. And you're gonna sort of tuck this in a little bit tight because the paper sort of sticks to each other. And then take these sides, be really careful, sort of tuck it over. It doesn't have to be perfect, just so everything doesn't fall out. And again, just do the other side. Just sort of tuck it all in there. And then you're gonna just roll this whole thing up and it's gonna stick together. You kind of have to do it quickly so it doesn't stick to your surface too much. But be really super careful. And you don't want to put too much stuff in there either or it's gonna kind of fall apart. So basically, there's your roll. A couple little pieces fell out, so you can just tuck those back in. And there you have it. And then you just keep doing that until they're all done. And there you have it. That's how to make some Asian veggie rainbow spring rolls. Super easy. You can make fall ones, you can make spring ones. As long as they're healthy with lots of colorful fruits and veg, that's what's important. Lastly, I just want to tell you guys about the peanut ginger dipping sauce. It's also easy to make, and you can use peanut butter or almond butter, whatever you prefer. You're going to just use probably about a half a cup. You're going to add a little bit of some chili garlic sauce, which you can get at any Asian grocery store, or a little sriracha, just to add a little bit of sweetness and some heat to it. I put a little touch of maple syrup. You could add a little honey or agave just to give another little bit of sweetness. And then a squeeze of lime juice, a few sesame seeds, and then you're going to want to whisk it together until the peanut butter starts sort of coming together with all the other ingredients, and slowly start adding some warm to hot water to melt it together a little bit. It's super delicious. It goes delicious with the veggies, and it's got sort of a sweet and tangy flavor, and I guarantee you're going to love it. So. So excited with our special guests that we have here today and some of the awesome fall food that we're going to be making for you. Today, one of our special guests is a young chef named Julia. Hello, Julia.
Hi.
So good to have you here. We are so excited to have you on the show and just see what kind of fall goodies you have made for us. Why don't you tell us, before we get into the food, a little bit about you and where you're from, and maybe what some of your inspiration was behind some of the fall dishes that you've made.
Well, I was adopted from Vietnam, and I now live in Manhattan. These are kind of just dishes that I like to have when I'm in the mood for a healthy snack or a healthy dinner.
Mm-hmm. And because it's fall inspired, what are some of the things that you're going to be making for us today?
I'm going to be making a tofu spinach rice stir fry and some kale chips.
That's wonderful. Spinach and kale are great fall greens. They're awesome and full of vitamins, and we can't wait to see how you're going to actually make it. Have you been cooking for a long time, and how did you learn how to cook?
Well, my family members, like my grandma and my aunt, taught me how to cook, and I've been cooking for like 4 years.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 14.
14, so we have a young budding chef here, and look at the lovely things she's made. Great, why don't we get started? Maybe why don't we start with the tofu and spinach stir fry? You can tell us a little bit about what's in it and how you made it, and then we'll move into the other dish.
Okay, so you want like brown rice, and you're just gonna boil that in some water for about 40 minutes. And then you're gonna have tofu, and you're gonna pan fry it in some oil until it's a nice golden brown. And the spinach, you're just gonna boil in some water. You can use fresh spinach or boiled, like you can use fresh and boil it, or you can use frozen and also boil it, whichever is preferred. You're gonna start with some rice and put it in the bottom of your dish. And then you're going to use some of the spinach to add some nice color and a nice healthy balance to this meal. And then you're also going to add some of the tofu on top. And it has a nice crispy flavor with some soy sauce if you want. And that's it.
Yeah, it looks delicious. And it looks like you have a piece of cooked tofu over here. I love the black sesame seeds, which gives a little nice crunch and texture and color to it as well. If, say, a person wanted to use something different than spinach, would there be any other green fall veggies that you could suggest?
Yeah, you can also use kale. That's also good with it. And any sort of like lettuce or any vegetable.
Broccoli, maybe,
yeah, any vegetable is good with it.
Yeah, and it's nice because it's super easy. You've got lots of fiber from the whole grain and the rice. Obviously, you could use the white rice or fried rice, but we're trying to be healthy here. So brown rice is great because it actually keeps you full and you know, helps digest everything. It's got lots of fiber in it. And then, of course, your spinach and tofu. It looks lovely, and I can't wait to try it. And lastly, I know we have some homemade kale chips, which are a delicious snack. So maybe tell us a little bit about how you made those.
So what you want to do is you can either get baby kale or you can get just kale, and you're going to take it off of the thicker part of the stem, and you're just going to marinate it in some olive oil, and then you're going to dice up some fresh garlic and sprinkle it in there and mix it and make sure that it gets everywhere so that the flavor isn't just on a few of the pieces of kale. And then you're going to add a little bit of onion powder just to accompany the garlic.
That's great.
And you're going to preheat your oven to 350, and you're going to want to spread the kale evenly so that it's all nice and crispy. And you're going to put it in for 8 minutes, and after 8 minutes you're going to flip it over and just toss it around to make sure that it's all even. It doesn't get too burnt, doesn't get too raw. And you're going to cook it for another 8 minutes, and after you're going to just put a little bit of salt to your taste. You don't want it to be too salty because the garlic and the onion powder already has a lot of salt.
It looks great, and it looks like there might even be some little chili seed or something in there too, or is that the garlic?
That's the
crunchy garlic. Yeah. That looks so delicious. Yeah, that's actually a really super healthy snack. And for fall, besides kale, you've got, you know, sweet potatoes, rutabaga, potatoes. You can do any kind of veggie in the oven with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and seasonings, and it's perfect snack, way better than your homemade or the potato chips you buy in a bag. So thank you so much. I am so excited to try this, and we're so glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
We have another super special guest chef on the show. His name is Chef Roger. Welcome from Beijing House in Syosett, New York, which is in Long Island. For our show, he's made us some really beautiful Asian-inspired fall dishes, and I can't wait to hear about it. Before we get into that, Roger, tell us a little bit about you and your restaurant, how long you've been cooking, and maybe what inspired you to make these dishes today.
Yeah, sure. And I got a restaurant which is located in Long Island, and I have that restaurant has been open for 11 months.
Okay.
But till now, it's pretty successful.
Okay, great. So let's get started. Why don't you show us first how to make these delicious veggie spring rolls?
Yes. And I got those raw materials from the supermarket, and everything is easy reach. I think everything is very fresh. And I shredded those carrots and flat cabbage and some mushroom, and boiled in the hot water for 1 minute, not so long, to keep those.
To make them soft and pliable. Okay.
Not like overcooked.
Not crunchy, but a little bit cooked. Okay.
Yeah, to keep it a better texture, and I mixed those stuffing with a little bit of salt. That's it.
Oh, okay, great. So it's all fresh veggies, just sautéed a little bit to keep a little bit of crunch and all its flavor. And just a quick question before you get into rolling. How do you shred the cabbage for some of our audience here? Tell us a little bit how you do that.
With a sharp knife.
Oh,
That's it.
okay.
Yeah.
So you don't use like a special grater mandolin?
Yeah, you know, those flat cabbage has so many layers, so it's really easy to shred it.
Oh, okay. So you like maybe cut it in half or quarters and then just slice it thinly?
Yes, yes,
Perfect.
exactly.
Perfect.
And for the second, I got the skin from the supermarket also.
Okay. So they're all ready to use?
Yes,
Okay.
and well, for safety purpose, I got a half of the skin to hold those stuffing better together.
Oh, okay. So you
And
put that
then-
inside.
I put
Like a double
one and
layer.
a half.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get too mushy. Now, what are these actual spring roll wrappers made out of?
Wheat flour.
Wheat flour.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're great.
It's perfect sticky, but not so sticky.
Yeah.
And I put some stuffing in the center,
Yum.
and you guys can see those. Oh, and I also put I like snow peas. I put some snow peas
great.
inside.
Those are delicious too. Now, could you substitute other veggies if you wanted, like Brussels sprouts or?
Yeah, I love Brussels sprouts and something which,
Broccoli.
but something is not so juicy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think flat cabbage will be the perfect one.
Because it's got a lot of water in it to make it
Yes.
a little soft. Great.
And the second step is take a knife in your hand
Okay.
and let me add a little bit more. And now I take up a knife as a help, and I put those stuffing into the center. Yeah, just make sure. And I take up the skin, and you guys can see. And to tighten it.
So a tight
And
roll.
yeah, and fold it one, and another side.
Kind of like a little burrito, but it's Chinese.
Yes. Oh,
So you want to do it kind of tightly, right? So that it
Yes.
doesn't all fall out.
and on the side, I put a container. There's a little bit wheat flour, and I put some warm water inside as a glue.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
So it stays together. Look at that. Who knew? That's so cool. That is wonderful. So now that we say we've made a bunch of these, rolled them all up, how do you actually go about cooking them and serving them?
Yeah, and for cooking them, I would like to fry it, and I put some vegetarian oil in the pan,
Okay.
and open up the fire, and just wait. When the oil is hot, drop it inside of the oil. I think it takes maybe just 2 minutes,
Okay.
because the stuffing is already like 70% is done.
Okay.
So
So just until it gets crispy and brown.
It's like a flash fried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And when they get super crunchy. And then what kind of a sauce would you serve with that, just as an idea?
Is for me, I would allow like some ketchup.
Ketchup.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you guys like spicy, you can put a little bit of sriracha mixed with those ketchup together and just dip it.
Oh, that sounds delicious. That's wonderful. All right, so that is our appetizer. Why don't you tell us about the other appetizer, the cold one that you have in your main dish, and yeah, we'll go from there.
So I want to talk a little bit more on the lamb dish.
Okay.
Yeah, and you guys can see that on the bottom there is some cilantro, and cilantro is a very good match with lamb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds good.
the reason why I choose lamb is because lamb is very different from mutton. Mutton is a little bit chewy, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Lamb is very young, and before I put those sliced lamb into my wok, I would put a little bit salad oil
Okay.
and some ginger and fresh garlic.
Okay,
And
yum.
just wait for 3 seconds with big fire, strong flame. And put those sliced lamb into my wok. And just salt it at a very fast speed.
Okay, so we want it on a high heat to have it
Yes.
cook and get crunchy and
For very good
quickly.
texture. And before you take out the lamb, I would put some cumin seeds on the top.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. Just take it out with the wok. Pretty easy.
Yeah, and it smells really good. You can actually smell the cumin seeds, which has a really nice kind of warm, spicy fall flavor and scent to it. So it's a super nice, healthy fall dish. Now, would this be something you could actually make with another protein, like, I don't know, beef or chicken, or would you recommend just keeping it with the lamb?
I would recommend cumin seeds with the beef.
With the beef, because it's a stronger flavor, right? So the beef
Yes.
is a little bit heartier to go with
Sure.
that. Lovely. Great. And then lastly, tell us a little bit about your cold appetizer dish with the beautiful julienne and how you made that.
Yes, and then I got the potato from the supermarket also, and just slice it for the first step, and shredded it for the second step.
Okay.
And put some shredded like carrot together, and put those stuff into the hot water to boil it. Just 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 minute or 2 minutes. And take them out to rinse those shreds with cold water.
Okay.
And the last step is put those shreds in a container and mix it with some chopped fresh garlic and a little bit of salt. That's it.
Okay. So it's just barely cooked. So the potatoes are cooked, but a little crunchy, right?
Yes.
Obviously, the carrots and the pepper are as well. In terms of julienning the noodles that way, can you tell us for our audience how you would actually do that? Do you use a grater or a mandolin or just a knife to get those perfect long noodles? Because that's sort of an advanced technique, and they look gorgeous. So
this one requires very high level from the chef with a knife.
okay, so
Yeah.
everything's done by hand.
Yes.
To cut them perfectly. So you would recommend cutting the potato, cutting it in chunks, and then small slices from there.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so before we let you go, Chef Roger, we have one last request. And what that is we'd love to see the proper way to actually use chopsticks. Can you show us how to do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Okay, for the first, and then you can take a chopstick inside your hand like this, one side and another side with the support from the 1, 2, 3, 4 from the fourth finger. Another one goes like this. Yeah, just hold the second one with the 2 fingers like this, and 2 ends meet. 1, 2, 3, 3 fingers in the middle, and back up a little bit. Just do it like this.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show with us today. I am so excited to try this food, and we're all excited to come try Beijing House in Syosett as well.
Sure.
And yeah, thanks for having us.
What do we got, guys? So, that's a burger. So go ahead and taste that. That's a burger. A burger, tempeh burger. You guys know what tempeh is? No? Indonesian, right? Indonesian, right? So it's fermented beans and rice. Okay. Well, traditionally it's soy, but I found you can make it out of anything. So that's a zuki bean. This is buckwheat, quinoa, and brown rice. Yeah.
So pasta sauce, we have filetto di pomodoro, which is prosciutto, pancetta, and onion. Puttanesca, olives, anchovies, and capers. And nonas is our basic tomato sauce.
Tempeh is over there for berries tempeh.
Right?
So local and organic.
How do you make make it?
How do we cook it, or how do we make the tempeh?
How do you cook it?
Well, right now we're frying it. That's the traditional way. It's Indonesian. You can bake it, you can saute it. Basically, any other way you would cook meat, I guess. That's vegan.
What is tempeh made from?
It's fermented beans and grains. This one is a zuki bean. We have 5 different kinds. It's traditionally made with soy.
Crickets on here.
Crickets on. Okay, great, thank you.
Is it good?
I already ate mine. It's okay. Or her.
It's okay.
Watch her as she goes. I already decided I had enough because they put a lot.
I think I had less than you probably.
No,
I feel like you even had the bigger ones.
There were like 5 of them. I tried one that was split into two tries.
What kind of ice cream is that?
Salted caramel.
Is it good?
Ice cream is good.
So that is it for our show today. We hope you enjoyed it and all the delicious dishes that we made for you. We look forward to seeing you on our next edition of Cooking with Color for Kids.